Hello, everybody. This is part 2 of the interview with Andy Vaughn, owner of Pure Polish Products. In the first episode, we talked about some of the basics of leather, what's necessary to preserve it. We talked about the cleaner conditioner product and how it's used, and also the cream polish, specifically the water-resistant cream polish. This episode, we're going to be discussing the High Shine product. Okay, so let's go. Hello, everybody. It's Robert Powers.
4.5 out of 5.
My shoe collection.
These are made of shell cordovan.
Can you tell the difference?
Now here they are finished up.
I'm not a professional.
Look how tight this is, though.
Very clearly here, I just cut the thread in half.
Look at that. See?
And here they are, all finished up. Can we talk about the High Shine?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the sexy product, right? You know, that's the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that brings everyone in.
Yeah. So I love the mirror shine. I would mirror shine suede if I could, you know. But yeah, it doesn't have a distinctly different smell to it. It does feel a little harder, you know, the wax.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no conditioning oil in it. I mean, it is designed for mirror shining. It's designed to be the best mirror shining product that can be out there. You know, I mean, there are ways in which we can ergonomically make it a little bit better. But yeah.
Three ingredients: orange oil, carnauba wax, beeswax. Haven't we heard that before already here?
Well, hey, we keep it simple. I mean, I'm not saying that the
Wait a minute. It is literally the same ingredients as in the cleaner.
no, not
No?
quite. And read that again.
Okay, orange oil is first in both. Carnauba wax, then beeswax. The cleaner is beeswax, then coconut oil. Okay, it's different. Beeswax, carnauba wax. Okay, so 2 of the 3 ingredients are wax, and obviously the proportions change. Wow.
Yeah, and the oils are different. I mean, we've got, you know, we're simple, right? Natural oil, natural wax, natural color.
It's good. I mean, I know people say, "Oh, Bob, the only reason you're talking it up is because he's here and he paid you." No, this crap worked. This stuff worked. It is in my books, because I have another video where I'm comparing Saphir to Kiwi, and like
Sure.
I got cursed up and down by so many people on that one too, you know, and sure it's going to happen on this video.
Yeah.
You know, like shoe polish is the most important political, you know, topic right now. Like,
Hey, that's great.
you know, arguing about shoe polish that keeps us from arguing about politics. Maybe that's a good thing. But
Sure, yeah, I'm down with that.
it, in my experience, my opinion, was easier and faster to create a mirror shine.
Yeah, and it's designed that way. I mean, orange oil evaporates 3.2 times faster than turpentine.
And I mean faster than this is when I say.
Yeah, and you know, there are some, as you know, I covered with you, but not everybody knows this. There are some technique aspects to that too, right? Turpentine's more slippery because it's slower to evaporate, so it'll have this more of a glide. So you can glide it on a little bit more smoothly. Orange oil doesn't have that glide. I mean, it evaporates very quickly. So you got to dab and then kind of use the water to kind of press, but you're also using less product. So there's less of a shrink effect, and then also fewer layers to get that same sort of mirror shine.
It felt like it filled in the pores very quickly.
Yeah.
And can you explain what you told me about the coconut oil and 80 degrees?
Oh yeah, well, so since all of our products are natural, they are temperature affected more. I mean, there's no preservatives, or there's no stabilizers or anything in that regard. No xanthan gums, no siloxanes or anything like that. So because of that, though, you know, you're trying to do a mirror shine in 100-degree weather. The product's going to be a little bit softer. It'll take a while to make those waxes stabilize and to create that base layer. Especially if you're using a paste polish or the cream polishes. So the 80 degrees is right where the coconut oil kind of reaches the point where it starts to get liquidy. That's where coconut oil is soft and liquidy. Below that, it's stable and it's hard. So when you're doing the cleaner conditioner, for example, if you're using it in, you know, we've got distributors in Mexico and Singapore, and those get warm sometimes, they, you know, you need to keep it a little bit more refrigerated. It's natural food grade products, right? And if you get it too soft, you'll sometimes, you know, slather on too much, right? It's nutrient rich, but because it's nutrient rich, you're using less product. It's kind of one of those, you don't want to use too much product, and because of the heat, end up using too much product. You'll just, you know, melt a whole candle across your shoe. Good luck, you know.
I think what you said was it's more of an advanced user's product is what you have.
Yeah, and that it's you know, it's I don't know if it's that way by design, or if it's that way really just that, you know, we're trying to keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the ingredients simple, keep the effect maximum. And we aren't cutting any edges, right? That's the point of pure polish. It's just pure polish. Because of that, the ingredients are affected by temperature. They're affected by user.
Can I tell you my experience and see if it correlates, if what I felt?
Sure, absolutely.
So again, the high shine wax. So I was applying it because you know the directions here. I think I was applying it first. The directions say apply with damp, soft cotton cloth. Dab high shine lightly onto the toe or heel of the shoe. Rub in small circles until smooth shine appears. Wait 1 to 2 minutes. Repeat until desired shine and depth is achieved. So at first I was applying it with I use a cotton t-shirt, you know, wrapped around my hand, and I did dampen it. Then I'm like, you know what? Let me try my way. You know, after I started to do one area, and then I just dabbed my finger in it. So I actually learned this more from the Elegant Oxford from oh come on, dude. Come on, he's right.
Preston.
Thank you, Preston Soto. I just went blank for a minute. Maybe I'll edit that out. So Preston Soto, what I learned from him is you can slather on a lot of layers before you try to polish. So you can get your first 3, 4, 5, 6 layers on really all at once, and that works. So then I started to do that, but here's what I noticed. When I dabbed my finger into the high shine paste, my finger, when I push my finger in it, within maybe a half second, you get it feels like a soft, almost liquid. You get a soft wax. When I would dab a dry cloth onto it, it would drag more. This is hard to articulate. I could feel that the wax wasn't getting onto the cloth as easy. In other words, it felt like I had dipped my finger into a harder substance. When I used the wet rag almost felt like I was dragging across sandpaper, like it would not pick up product. And I believe it's because when it was wet, it's colder and it wasn't liquefying as easy, where my hand has heat and it's liquefying faster. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, that's why, you know, you can do an infinite number of how-to videos on mirror shining. And I think that instead of, and this is why there's one instruction guide, right? You know, we've got a little 2-inch label there, and
right.
You know, I can put one technique. I've done some fingertip application use. You can use a thicker cotton cloth. However, you start getting above 80 degrees temperature, this thick cotton cloth, it gets too stretchy. Doesn't work as well. I find that the non-stretchy 100% muslin cotton cloth, because it's got less stretch, is a better way for applying the base. You know, everybody has their own technique. I've used t-shirts. I find that sometimes they stretch too much. And again, it's temperature, it's environment based. But you got to think, if you look at a nice mirror shine, you know, these aren't even mirror shine. They just have a paste polish. But let's see if I've.
Yeah, you do some, like I see your stuff you post on Facebook, them shines. Like, yeah, it's like, wow.
So, I mean, we can see a little bit.
They look like they go around the shoe too. You've got some technique, not just product.
Yeah, so this just has the burgundy paste. I haven't even touched the high shine yet. I mean, this was just a, yeah. This is just the paste. And the paste, again, it's stiff waxes, so you use it on toes and heels. But you got to think on the most beautiful mirror shines you've ever seen. What is it, maybe 2 grams of product is really on the surface? Like nothing is on the surface, right? So you got to think you're not really using a lot of product unless it's all just evaporating. And we're so nutrient rich. I mean, like I said, pure polish. It's like, boom, it's wax, it's oil. Mm-hmm. And you know, so you're not needing to apply a lot of stuff. So when you're applying it, you really are just dabbing, putting it on, and you can get that mirror shine super quick, you know?
Yeah, and like I said, it was less than 18 minutes. You know, because I've spent where I have had especially a pair of shoes where there is no mirror shine. I've had them where it took an hour to do it. Now, granted, that's one shoe. I mean, it could be really, really tedious. And back to what I was saying with the different liquefaction or how it felt, I could see if you hadn't done it before, it could be frustrating and you might not understand the correlation. I guess that was kind of how I felt. Like for me, I loved it. You know, I knew what it was doing and I could feel what was going on, but I could also see how if you weren't familiar with it, it would just be too many variables to, you know, until you have a little bit of experience.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times the customers, when they come to me, they're using too much product. You know, and I think
9 out of 10 times you're using too much.
Too much product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I walk them through the process. I'm like, okay, you use less, and then now use even less, and now you use even less. Okay, now you're done.
And I think I used more water than I normally, in previous products that I've had to. I think
Yeah.
a little more water.
Well, water's a great solvent itself too, right? I mean, it adheres to the waxes and it helps to kind of smooth it all down. Now the orange oil will complement that as well. And then you're just adding the nice little bit of carnauba wax and you really don't have a ton of product on the surface. Nice, smooth, and you're allowing the leather to look really good. That's what we want. We want our leather shoes to look great. We don't want wax.
I found with the Saphir, after you get a good solid base, the upper layers, the final few, 5 or 10 coats, you could put on almost without water. That's just my experience. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe other people have different technique. I found that yours seem to work better with a little more water in the final coats.
Yeah.
Not so dry. But yeah, very intuitive, very easy to use. And like I said, quick, beautiful mirror shines.
Thank you. Yeah. I think, I mean, and I'm
cost effective.
Well, you've got that too. Yeah. And if you're trying to make your leather last lifetime, like we follow 3 principles. It's got to be good for the planet, good for the user, good for the leather. And those are our things, right? So it's got to make your leather last lifetime. So first and foremost, we're a leather care company. So it's got to make it so that you're not smothering the leather. You're not sealing off the pores. You're not just totally choking the grain. Right. So making it minimal. And then, making it so it's non-toxic so you can use your fingers. I mean, the Japanese have these beautiful techniques of just fingertip application, feeling the warmth of the leather, going across the grain, going with the grain. It's very almost samurai sword sharpening-ish type making. I love the beauty and the artistry of that.
Nice. I think there's only one thing on my list we haven't talked about here. What did you say is the main enemy of leather as far as that will shorten its lifespan?
Heat. Yes, and I got to be careful because I'm a part of the community too, right? I'm on all these same forums. I'm on Style Forum, on Facebook group and Instagram, and there are a lot of people who love to use heat because it can speed up products when you're talking about certain products, right? Burning off of solvents when you're trying to melt things and you're going to pour things on, or using heat guns. Some of these things can speed up the process, but if you look at over the time of the leather, years, and you're wanting it to last, I mean, it's contrary to that, make it last a lifetime. Sure, you can achieve some looks pretty quickly, but you can really damage those collagen layers, and irreparably. And you can burn it. I mean, it's flesh, it's skin, Right. So yes, heat is historically and per all my training, heat is the enemy of leather.
When you say that, I think of like using a heat gun and acetone to strip a shoe. Right, so but I mean, I guess.
Well, and I got to say, because a lot of those guys are my friends, and they do beautiful work. And they're extremely talented. So the thing that I think is more the halo effect, not them, but the 1,000 people that are watching them, that don't have their finite technique to know exactly how far away from the leather. And I'm not advocating for heat gun and acetone on shoes.
Well, I have a video repairing mirror cracks. I'll show you how to use a lighter. But it's a 1 to 2 second to melt the wax, but so I think maybe what that means to me or tells me though is like when we're acetone stripping and using a heat gun that's generally one time in that shoe's life. It's not a treatment or a process, so I mean that's probably why you can get away with it. But
yeah, and I'm not going to fight history. A lot of people have used heat over time. I'm just, as we look forward, there are better ways that safeguard against the possibility of ruining your bespoke pair of Nicholas Templeman derbies, and you're going to use a lighter just to fix that mirror shine. Like, please rethink what you're doing before you do that.
Yes, this is amazing because it's like, as you keep progressing, you keep learning things. And I feel like about every 9 months to a year, I look at myself 9 months ago, like, wow, did I really think that? It's an evolution, it's a process, and it's all fun. This is great. I love this as a hobby because I tell you what, I honestly don't know if I'd still be on Facebook if it weren't for Alan Edmonds Enthusiast. What are some of the other groups we're on? Vintage Floor Shine, Vintage.
Yeah, there's the Waxed and Dyed, the Shine Your Shoes that Preston hosts. Yeah, there's a bunch of them, high-end shoes.
Sometimes I just get on and none of my friends will watch. None of my local friends watch this, but sometimes I just bypass my friends and I go straight to Alan Edmonds Enthusiast, because that's where I know it's 99% positive and uplifting and I'm learning something and contributing. And
Well, and it's a beautiful community that I think extends beyond just the vertical of the shoes. You know, we've had some wildfires here in Oregon recently, and I've had some of the people in these communities reach out to me personally and ask, am I okay? Is my family safe and everything? And that shows the solidarity of the community. I love that. I mean, honestly, they're some of the first people beyond, you know, people I went to high school with or something like that, right? And so if you find that you can make this connection with virtual communities, they care. They really do care that you're well. And that means a lot. That means that, you know, they do show up. You show up, they check on each other. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I really enjoyed this, and like I said, I really feel like from getting to interact with you here, not just today, but the phone calls and the you know, the Facebook and stuff, I can tell you really believe in what you're doing. You know the methodology behind it, and my philosophy in life is that the income we make should be the outcome of service to my fellow man. And I believe when you make income the focus, then you'll step on people to get it. And I think that's
Absolutely.
getting harder and harder to find today, is people like you that are focused on service first and income as the outcome of it. And I feel like you're doing something really good here, you know?
Thank
And
you,
it's
Bo.
not,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, where else, by the way, you know, because some people are like, oh my gosh, the product is 3 times the cost of regular polish. Where else can you spend, you know, $10 more for something that's probably going to last you a year or two and get the best?
Yeah.
I mean, if I
Yeah.
go get the best car, you know, it's a lot more than $10 more than the, you know, mediocre car. You know what I mean? It's like, it's
Right. And that's where we see ourselves is
penny.
we didn't jump in this to compete on price. We jumped on this to make the best product. You know, I mean, and when you're looking at it, there's 1 and 2 companies we're really trying to compete with.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at that, that really narrows what you're trying to do. And then price is like, I mean, you know, if you're polishing your 300, 400, or even your $100, $200, you know, you've got your floor shimes or your Johnston Murphy Bostonians, whatever, even your thrifted shoes. $12 is like nothing if you can use it across many. I mean, those can get you 30 to 40 shines, right? That high
Oh,
shine
yeah,
right there.
absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
you know, it's really a good, you know, value
The
for
value,
the
absolutely.
dollar.
You look at it,
And then also the value over time, that kind of the ethos behind it, right? You're contributing to the buy it for life,
right.
you know, sustainability movement.
I forgot to ask you, the Pure Polish Cleaner Conditioner, is it okay to use this as just a conditioner? In other words, to moisturize my leather later?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, around here, you know, Bend is this Wild West area. Most people they're not wearing men's dress shoes, but they all have leather furniture. So when I show up to a local event here, everybody polishes or conditions all their leather furniture, couches and whatnot with the cleaner conditioner. They buy jars of it, just sell out every weekend, just boom, and
Really?
they all
Oh,
use it on
wow.
all their leather furniture.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say in closing here?
You know, not that I can think. I think just for me, it's a big part to be a part of the community, right? So I try and be as accessible as possible. You know, I mean, we're such a small operation, you know, but yet I will answer all the direct messages. So you know, you message Instagram, you message Facebook, you're talking to me, and I will help you with your problem because I too have the same problems, right? And I too care about my leather goods.
Sorry.
So so good, we're family business, right? You know, so for
Yeah.
me the biggest thing is like the accessibility of it. I'm part of the community. It's totally vertical, it's totally direct. You know, you have a problem or you want to figure out how to solve something, you can reach me. I mean, I don't know if it'll always be that way, but
Right.
that's kind of the goal, is to be really tied in. I'm not trying to obfuscate, I'm not trying to outsource this, I'm trying to like truly help my friends, right?
That was part of why I looked at this as like a rare opportunity. Like, I'm going to get to talk to the guy who actually knows what's in his stuff. You know, he's not just a traveling salesperson that was educated, you know, from a, you know, whatever, a training.
Sure.
And he knows why. I'm like, oh, you know, that's why I relish this so much. That's why I relish the leather talks with Phil Callis so much, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And what, you know, and I don't know if this is even can be tied in any way, but in case there are questions in this regard, it took a year and a half basically, but over learning Glenn's original recipes, I have improved upon them, you know, from user feedback. So they're not the original. I mean, they're tied in with the original, but they've improved in terms of ratios of oils and waxes to better tailor it to the actual uses that they're finding amongst the community. So I have, you know, it took a lot of kind of just trusting with the recipe book, and now I'm able to create my own spells. So the stuff we're seeing today now are 10, 15 times better, and I've iterated 6 times on the recipes. So yeah.
Well, I mean, Flat Out Works does exactly what it's supposed to.
Okay.
Even though like I figured out through this, I didn't necessarily activate. I didn't follow all the directions, but like with your cream polish, I forgot to say I did let it sit 10 minutes, in that regard. And yeah, I could tell it needed time to soak in before I brushed it. But once you did that, that was great.
Yeah, I'm going to keep improving, right? Because I get feedback every day and I write that stuff down. And if I hear it more than twice, I'm going to be revisiting it, right? This is something either I need to write a blog post on because people don't understand, or I need to fix it because somehow it's not being communicated with the product. So that's kind of the onus I take upon myself, is I need to make sure that it's clearly communicated and delivered.
So if people wanted to learn more, the hungry for knowledge, thirsty for knowledge, your Instagram, right, which I'll
Yep.
show links of here, is one place. Your website itself, the Pure Polish website, which is it on the can? What is it? Is it
Purepolishproducts.com. Yeah.
purepolishproducts.com? Where else? Are you on YouTube?
I have a YouTube channel. It's small. It's usually me like shining shoes in a couch around a bunch of family members, just saying, so by the way, this is what I was talking to somebody about earlier today. It's like the least professional shoe shine, station out there, but it's me. And I will tell you sometimes stuff that's like way up here. So, but I will lay it out straight. Like, this is exactly the problem. This is what I'm doing. So it's very intimate conversations with me.
Great.
So yeah,
And
there's
do you
no
have a
stage.
business Facebook page?
We do. Yeah. It's also facebook.com/purepolishproducts.
Cool. Awesome. This has been great. I learned so much from you. I felt like you helped take my game to the next level of understanding. So I'm not just guessing when I buy things.
Awesome.
I'm glad to have found your stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Baba. I'm glad we connected. This is great.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yeah. Take care.
Okay, so I don't really want this to be a focus as a Saphir head-to-head versus Pure Polish a type of video, because you can get great results with both, okay? But here's the reasons I like Pure Polish. Number one is because it's much better for you. As we talked about it in the part 1 video, pine turpentine as the solvent versus orange oil. You're getting something that's, not carcinogenic for you, into your skin. Reason number 2, I believe it generates a mirror shine quicker. Reason number 3 is because it's a better value. In other words, the cost is roughly half for a 60 milliliter tin, instead of a 75 milliliter tin, so it's significantly less per ounce, or per milliliter that you're getting. And number 4, I think it's kind of nice that the profits are staying here in the US. So thank you so much for watching. And if you've ever purchased a pair of shoes and had to sneak them in the house to get them past your spouse, you might want to consider subscribing to my channel. All right, God bless. Have a great day. Thank you so much. One second. I'm going to give 5 seconds. I'm going to edit this out. I need to grab your cloth.
Absolutely.
Ouch. I just stepped on a saucer. Stepped on a plastic saucer, sprinting over. Let me find the spot. Okay, so I'm going to edit this out. Pretty poor looking condition. They're structurally sound, 100% biodegradable, non-toxic. So actually the ingredients in it are just a dust off of these. Very soft consistency, 1-inch circles. Look at that, it goes in very quickly. Picking up the extra material, I guess.
Now, I'm going to tell you what I find interesting. I'll tell you what I find surprising. But what I find fascinating, and I know you can't feel this, the leather is absolutely, has no greasy feeling on the outside of it. That's what fascinates.